Greetings and welcome to another Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team video. Today I'm going over the basics of how to accurately pre-measure with your miniatures in Kill Team so you can get the best results. But before we get into things, please remember to like and subscribe as well as comment. Let me know what you thought of the video. Was it helpful? Did you learn much? Is there anything that could be improved upon? Just let me know. And also I've got a Discord you can check out in the episode description below for free, as well as a Patreon if you want to give me some more support. But yeah, today's video is going to be a bit short. It's just a basic on how to accurately pre-measure. It's something I learned. It took a while, and it's, I've improved it as I've gone on playing. And I think it's useful for everyone to be aware of it, because a lot of people are, but I don't think most are. And, it's a lot of I've learned from Charles and people I've played against. And it's just very simple. So I'm going to show a brief video about how you can accurately pre-measure and replicate it in your games. Because the biggest problem I've seen is people not pre-measuring and just moving up and going, oh, I can't do something, then moving back and doing something else entirely, or not pre-measuring, so then they can go, okay, I could do this, but then, oh, when I was pre-measuring, I could see I could do something else. It's stuff like that, because, pre-measuring is very helpful for you and your opponent, and it just makes everything clear, which is what you want in any kind of game, whether it be competitive or narrative or just casual with friends. Just helps clear up any ambiguity and makes your intentions very clear, which is just good for overall play. But without further ado, I'll just get into the demonstration and, show you all. Okay, so as I discussed in the video, I'm going to go over how you can pre-measure more accurately with Kill Team because, well, measuring is quite important. And it's something I've picked up as I've played, and it's just something to show off to you all. So as you can see, you can always just got a Shadow sit here and engage, and then a Fate Dealer, or the Corsair Voice Guard Sniper on Concealed. Now, from that position, you can't shoot. And, you would always go, oh, you know what? I'm just going to move and then shoot you. But there's ways to do it without going, okay, I'm going to move here. Oh, no, actually, I can't get a shot from there. I'm going to go back. Because, the cool thing about Kill Team is you can pre-measure, and there's ways to do it quite accurately. And there's ways you can do it without having to move your model on this stuff. I do, Charles always do, like a lot of opponents I've seen. But still, a lot of people aren't aware of it, and I think this is a good way to go about it. So as I said, one of the cool concepts is having spare models on your roster. But if you don't have any spare models lying about, you can use models that are out of action. And that's always I like bringing spare models. So you can use a model on the same base, even if it's a different model. That's the thing I like to use. So I'll go like, okay, I'm going to move red, and I'm going to see if I get a shot. So I think I can get a shot there, but then I'll use my line laser, which I always highly recommend. And if I draw the cover lines from here to here, it always crosses, so I can't get a shot. And now I can go, okay, that wasn't a shot, I'll do something else. And you've done that without having to move your model and then go like, okay, I'm going to move here. And, oh, okay, I'll move it back, or move it closer, or move it somewhere else, yeah? So this is very good for accurate pre-measuring without having to disrupt where your model goes. But there's also other things you could do, because you could go, okay, I've actually got an APL because this model has free APL. I can now move, dash, go to here. Then I'll check my cover lines. And from this point, there's no cover in the way. So I completely negate your conceal and I can shoot you. So obviously I've got Harlequin so I could charge, but just for if I wanted to get a shot. And that's all pre-measuring. So then you go, okay, that's a legal move. So I'm going to do this, move that out of the way, and shoot you. And you've moved exactly 9 inches because you've moved red and blue. So you've moved everywhere and you've got a clear shot. So that's just one way. Now let's say you were behind here, you didn't have fly, and you wanted to get around the corner, but you wanted to dash. So the measuring gauges, like these are just my acrylic ones, they're 3 inches, which is great, but not great for moving around corners. Now, once again, this is something I got from Charles, who stole from someone else. And it's basically using these 3 25mm bases. So I actually picked up when me and Charles were playing, Vet Guard versus Pathfinders, because 25mm bases are basically an inch, slightly just under, but effectively an inch. And as I said, Charles picked up from someone else. So a cool thing you can do with pre-measuring is pre-measure dash around the corner. So you can go, okay, I can dash here and then move. So I've used all my movement to dash around the corner and move accurately instead of going, oh, I'm going to go 2 inches and then 1 inch across. You can accurately dash around corners. It's really useful because the thing is, with your, when you're moving red with your normal move, you can kind of break that down into more easier chunks, like, oh, I'm going to move 3, then move 3 here, stuff like that. But when you're trying to get dashes, the most time I'm using dashes is to get around corners and stuff, to get neat shots. So for example, even here, I'm going to try and, or like, let's see, I want to dash, then shoot, then move away. So, you could go, oh, I'm going to dash around the corner here and then shoot you. So it's not necessary, but it's a nice little thing. I mean, you don't have to use the barrels. I only use the barrels because I have so many Minotaurium crates. But it's a nice trick. You could put like tags or anything, like just thumbticks, so you could just pick up the bases, because all they're doing is just for measuring ranges. But it's a nice way to accurately pre-measure because, as I said, pre-measuring is an important skill in Kill Team, and everyone can do it. And you want to do it in such a way where you're not picking up your model and going, okay, I'll move it back, and then either putting it further away or closer than it was before. So just accurate movements. And that's pretty much it for pre-measuring. As I said, you want to not move the model you have. So using a spare model from your roster, one that's out of action. And then an extra tip is using 325mm bases, and then basically going, okay, I'm going to dash around here, and then that's your dash, and then you can move, stuff like that. And always use your line laser, really cool. You don't have to use the army painter one, but that's the one I use. It's the cheapest and the best in my opinion. And then also, if you want to check visibility, this is just another thing I've been using recently, just the line laser, not the laser pointer, just when you can measure from the point of the head and go, where was it? Yeah, I can see there, etc. But if you're doing pre-measuring, remember, yeah, it's just the key concepts of using a spare model and using 325mm bases. And then you can basically accurately pre-measure stuff. Because I said the greatest thing is going, okay, I could do this, or I can do something else entirely. It allows you to safely gauge what you want to do and accurately. And that's pretty much it. So we'll get back to the video. So yeah, that's pretty much it for pre-measuring. As I said, my core principles are, using 325mm bases for measuring dashes around corners and stuff. If you wanted to, you could expand it to having 6 or even 9, so you can go, oh, I'm going to use it to move each model inch by inch, although I think that's a bit extreme, but whatever you find comfortable. I find just 325mm bases really useful. Then it's always using a spare miniature of the same base to pre-measure, either by having, that's why I like taking multiple operatives on my roster, because it does allow me the benefit of better pre-measuring. But if you don't, you can just use models that are out of action. But it's a nice thing to have. And then also, yeah, when you pre-measure, that's the great thing about using another model. You're not picking up your own model, what you want to do. So then you can not make the error of placing your model back a bit too far back or closer, so it's unintentional cheating. And it just makes stuff clearer for everyone. And always use the line laser. The line laser helps with your pre-measuring for cover lines, because you can accurately gauge what's in shot, what's obscuring, stuff like that. So you can go, okay, I was going to move up and shoot you, but actually, even with the move and dash, I can't get past this either like obscuring piece or your cover, so you're completely safe. So I'm going to do something else. Or as I mentioned at the start, when you're pre-measuring, you can go, oh, I was going to do this, but now I've realized I'm also in range to do like a charge or somewhere else. So I actually might do that instead. And it's just keeping in mind that. Then also, I do like the laser pointer, just for making sure you can actually get the shot, depending if you have visibility on certain areas. But that's more of a niche use and doesn't really matter too much with pre-measuring. That's more just a nice additional tool. I think the core things is always having a spare model of the same size as the ones you're playing with. Having 325mm bases for dashing around corners and other niche areas. And then using multiple measuring gauges as well as a line laser. So you can accurately gauge your line of sight, and having multiple tools is really useful. Like I have 2 tools that are 4 inches long, 6 inches long, 3 inches long, 2 inches long, and 1 inch long. So I can, do really good pre-measuring, and it makes accurate play. But that's pretty much it. It's something simple. I might do an article on it, but there's not much to talk about. I think it's short and sweet, but it should help improve everyone's play as it has mine. And it's just what I like about it is like, it's not, oh, I came up with it. It's stuff I've learned from playing and talking with friends and people at tournaments. So it's kind of like we're all helping each other to improve, and that should be the goal at the end of the day for everything. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Please remember to like and subscribe as well as comment. Let me know what you thought of the video. Was it useful? Did it help? Were you already aware of it? And is there anything else I could add that could help? Because, you know, as I said, it's always a learning process, and anything we can do to help make the game more accurate and clear for everyone is better. But also, yeah, I've got a Discord you can check out in the episode description below for free if you want to, as well as a Patreon if you want to give me some more support. But I'll just go and thank my patrons now. So for my adepts of the crit, I have Theodore, Zamario, Tarun, Kenzie, and Christopher, and Adzik. And then for my veterans of the crit, I have Sam, Joe, and Confucius. So thank you so much. Your support really, really helps. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I might do, if you like these tacticas, let me know. I can probably do some more. Just some nice short videos to pad it out. I'll try and do this as an article as well if I can, but that's a bit more dubious. I'm quite strapped for time at the moment. I've sacrificed it all for doing tournaments. But yeah, until next time, remember, no matter what happens, you can always pre-measure, and it might even help you roll a crit.